Marvel now. Ooh, we got to talk Punisher, and then we got some great Spider-Man stuff. So, as you guys know, the Punisher is getting his own special on Disney Plus. Let me just look up Punisher special. And although I was already looking forward to it and excited because I love John Bernthal's Punisher, and Punisher is one of my favorite Marvel characters, now knowing that is probably going to transition us to where he's at for Spider-Man, so looking forward to it now. So want to see it. And well, thanks to Daniel RPK, we actually got a hint of who the villain is, and it's someone I am familiar with. So Punisher villain. Let me get that open up. Let me see. Let me look up. Okay, here. So it's Nexus Point, not Daniel RPK. My bad. Oh, Nexus. Oh, then it's pretty much a fact because these guys have been spot on with their reporting. Nexus Point. So this is pretty much a fact here. So they have it here reported then that the Punisher villain is described as a female crime boss, likely Ma Ganucci. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I've only ever read it in the comics. I've never heard it out loud. Ma Ganucci, Maguchi, Makuchi. Either way, Miss Ganucci is the villain for the Punisher series. Now, if somebody said woke already, dude, give me a chance to explain here already. Okay, so I was like, why is that name found familiar? And why is this image ingrained in my brain? So I did read on her a long time ago. And essentially her story is she's a crime boss, and the Punisher has actually killed a lot of her sons who are also in the crime family and the mafia and whatnot in the streets. And dude, when you find out how she got amputated, just wait. But anyways, she wasn't always like this. She just wants revenge on Frank Castle because Frank killed her sons, who were all part of the mob and all that and all that. And you know how Frank is; he just kills people who are doing dirty crimes. I kind of like that as a villain. That's the starting ground. Ma Ganucci don't have no powers. Her coochie don't come out and grab you. Nothing. No, she ain't got nothing like that. So if you're waiting for a moment where she has a magical medallion or something, no, she's really not all that special. I think it's just more the motivation. It's just Frank killed her children, and now she wants revenge, and she's going to go to any length to get that. And I think it's an interesting dynamic also because it's almost a reverse Frank Castle, because Frank's whole deal is his family got murdered, his kids got killed, or kid, depending which version, and now that's what motivates him. So to have Frank Castle Punisher create a villainous version of that, I think could be an interesting story. But the way she got amputated was hilarious, guys. Okay, so in the comics, they're fighting at like the zoo, I believe. They're fighting at the zoo, and the Punisher throws Ma Ganucci and the gang to the polar bears. And so Frank can get the polar bears right up. Frank punches a polar bear that gets them all angry and mad. And these polar bears that are like, what y'all doing in my hood, y'all? That's Ma Ganucci right there. I hate Ennis's drawings. It's the same artist as the boys, and they've always such creepy artwork. But anyways, the polar bears are there, and they get to work, buddy. The polar bears get to destroying. Let me see if I can find the actual panel where they literally just tear Ma Ganucci to shreds. And you're not even ready also for how Ma Ganucci dies in the comic. All right, I can't find the panel, but there's a panel where the polar bears are literally just ripping her to shreds. That's what happens. These polar bears just grab her, tear her limb from limb, and she ends up surviving, and this is what she ends up looking like, just all angry, and it's like, get me Frank Castle, we'll destroy him. Eventually, she gets her revenge, tries to kill him, burn him in a house fire, where freaking Frank, let me see if is it here. I love the panel where he defeats her right here, where she is right there, no limbs, no arms, no legs, crawling to Frank, trying to bite him. And Frank literally punts her like a football back into the fire. And bye-bye, Ma Ganucci. Ma Barbecue Ganucci after that. So it's a very just like stupid, nothing character that I guess is just kind of dark and serious because of how effed up she gets injured by Frank. But dude, it's just and I don't even think they're gonna do all this. Literally, they could just take inspiration from the whole he killed my kids, so I want to kill Punisher" situation. But if they do the whole polar bear amputee and punting her to death after that, that will be some segue to Spider-Man Brand New Day. So you know what? Mama Berkanucci. There you go. Pretty short special. Yeah, I saw people saying goal. So it's funny when I saw that. We'll see if it ends up happening. It could just be a random female villain. But in as far as all these funny jokes and stuff, oh my, is that Frank grabbing someone by the honies? Dude, forget Terrifier. You do not want to be caught by the Punisher because he's gonna punish you in really interesting ways. Let me tell you that. As far as though goofy stuff that happens to her side, I do like the idea of like a reverse Punisher, a reverse person who lost everything and now wants the revenge the same way Punisher did. Could be really cool. And who knows, man? It feels like one thing I will say with like Born Again and the way Punisher was used in that is I really wanted more of him versus the dirty cops. I don't know if that'll be a thing in season 2, if he's coming back for that and they'll finish that storyline out there. Because it looks like his special is going to take place between season 1 and 2 of Born Again. But I just don't think they did that storyline well of Punisher going after those dirty cops and teaching. He had a great speech and a great moment, but he didn't feel that motivated to take care of that job, if I'm being honest. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, these some details on the Punisher villain, what's going on in his series. You guys let me know if you're excited on that front.